Well, looks like I am up here all by myself. I don't have Mercy. I don't have Angel. I don't have Gracie yet. Who knows if she'll show up? Um, Debating on whether or not I can turn this air conditioner off. Let me see. That's a little bit quieter. Yeah, it's not that bad. Um, Coming home from church, it was 77 degrees on the truck. So it's not that bad temperature wise. Um, Gracie was laying out on the porch, which normally she's hiding inside in front of the fan. But it's not that bad out today so far. Now, we did have some rain last night or yesterday. We had one storm blow through, and it gave a decent watering. Oh, here comes Gracie. Come here, Gracie, Gracie. Come on, you're going to come up? Come here. Come on. There you go. Okay. There's Gracie. Hello, Gracie. You feel like you've been laying in the sun. Okay, you want to go get on the bed? Get up, Gracie. Up. Get up on the bed. Come on. Good girl. Stay there. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. She can be good when she wants to be. Lay down. That's a good girl. We'll see if it gets too stuffy up here. I may have to turn the air conditioning back on. Gracie's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You silly. You silly puppy. Yeah, she's been very happy because I have been such a softie. I have been letting her sleep with me in bed at night. See, I think she was missing Josh, my son. So she was a little bit depressed because she used to, you know, when I get up in the morning, of course, he wasn't up yet. And I would have her go out and do her business. And then when she came back in, she would like go to bed, go to bed with him. So, and she would stay there until like 9 o'clock in the morning, sometimes even later. He would get up and she'd still be in bed. Yeah. So I mean, I get up anytime after 4:30 and I make her get up with me. I don't leave her in bed. I make her get up with me. And she goes out, she does her business, and then I let her sit on my lap for a few minutes. And then there's a chair that we have down there that uh, has a blanket on it, and she'll lay on that. And if she feels the need, she'll cover herself up with the blanket. Yes, she will cover herself up. Yes, won't you? I see that tail wagging. You silly. So, yeah. So, anyway, so temperature wise, it's not bad. Humidity wise, I'm surprised it's not that bad. I think it's supposed to warm up. Um, Today is July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th of July, Independence Day. And so people are probably heavily involved in, things. Oh, hi, Stringfield Ridge Farm. I didn't figure you'd be in. I figured you had some kind of festivities going on or something. Um, so we got the paper today, and I saw that there was a parade and some 4th of July stuff going on in our local town here, and it's in the afternoon, so that's good because I have to go get the farrier in the morning. So he was supposed to trim Honey's feet. We are just out of church going to my daughter's at 5. Ah, okay. So you got time, right? You just kind of chillaxing. um, yeah, so my farrier was supposed to be out this week, earlier this week to trim Honey's feet, and well, let's just say you got to make hay while the sun shines. He had forgotten about me, but he was cutting hay. So I said, I'll forgive you for that because I understand you when it's ready, you got to do it. And when the weather is good for cutting it and letting it dry and baling it, you got to jump on it, okay? Because you just never know. So I don't blame him, and I'm not upset about it. It was a little bit inconvenient with having to spend the gas, but that's okay. It is what it is. And so we made arrangements. He called me back and later that day, and I said, there's no huge hurry, and she's fine. It's not like I ride her every day. Don't haven't ridden her in a long time. I really need to. Um, but yeah, he's coming out tomorrow morning. I got to go get him, and then we'll have just a relaxing time, and we'll go and see what's going on over in our local town. So there's parade. I don't know that there's going to be any fireworks. They're going to be pretty expensive, I think, and with things as expensive as they are these days, I just don't know. I've seen fireworks tents up all over the place. I'm not in the habit of buying fireworks. That's because, hey, in New Jersey, they were illegal. Okay. So I'm just not in the habit of it. And I wouldn't be firing off any loud noisemakers anyway because of Honey and the other critters. That would be upsetting to them. So the only thing I would even consider it would be sparklers. And it's just my husband and I and a bunch of critters. So, we'll just go to the parade and, celebrate that way, get into the community a little bit. So, but that's all we're going to be doing, I think, for 4th of July. Nothing too spectacular. Um, so, anyway, how about let me tell you a story. Okay. So, yesterday, my neighbor brought a round bale. Now, Honey was out of the pasture. I let her out because there was next to nothing to eat inside the pasture. If everything was going turning brown, there just wasn't anything, and there wasn't much outside the pasture either. But I figured, she'll find something. So she was outside the pasture. I had all the gates open, okay, and he shows up with a round bale. I had ordered it, um, so he drives it into the pasture and he takes it over by the trees where there's some shade, and doesn't Honey hightail it right in behind him? She followed right behind him in the tractor. It's like she was going to help him unload it. So it's like, and he tells me he's never seen a horse that likes his hay more than the grass. It's like, well, there really isn't much grass right now, so not that she can get to anyway. So so he thought that was pretty funny. So she was happy. She had hay. And you know what? I'll tell you, it had to be a slim pickings because even Chucky, when Chucky got within sight of that round bale just before feeding time, because I don't know where he was out and about. Um, he made a hightail for it too. He ran right straight down the hill and right for it. So I guess that they really needed that hay. So I don't regret getting it. Um, I was debating on whether to get it for about a week, and it's like they kept saying there was going to be rain. They kept saying there was going to be rain, and there wasn't any. And it's like, oh, then finally, Friday night is like, and we didn't get any rain the whole day, and even though they had been saying we were going to, it was all just going around us and missing us. Um, so I had my husband go down and ask him if he could bring a round bale sometime. So he did. He brought it yesterday afternoon, and that was fine. And the animals were very happy about it. Not just the horse and the steer, but also the goats, because they've been going crazy on it too today. Now, yesterday at feeding time, I'm putting the goats up, okay, and I had all the girls in, and there was a little man, and I couldn't find Rudolph. Where's Rudolph? I kept calling and calling. Now, Rudolph is the little weather. He's a weather now for sure, but he's a little guy who was very accident prone. Okay. He got the infected nose, which gave him a big red nose around Christmas time, which is how he got his name. Okay. And then about a month or so after that, he had a couple of gashes on his leg. I doctored those up. Um, and then his banding, I've banded before. I mean, I banded Chucky, I banded a little man, and so banding it's not hard to do, but he moved at the wrong time. And sorry, I lost you for a few minutes on my. Oh, it happens. What are you going to do? Technology is a wonderful thing when it works. So yeah. So anyway, so I was looking for Rudolph. All the other goats, I checked. All the kids were there. All the mamas were there, and little man was there, and there was no sign of Rudolph. It's like, oh man, did he get himself into trouble? And I wasn't sure if he would call to me or not, because he's a little bit standoffish. And so, but I kept calling, I couldn't see him, couldn't hear him. So after I got little man in and I got the other goats taken care of, I walked down, and the only thing I saw that I noticed different was that the round bale had been tipped over. It's like, oh, great. Oh, please don't tell me they knocked it over onto him. Oh, so I walked down there, and I was afraid that I was going to find something horrible. So I walked downhill down to where the round bale is, and I'm looking on the ground. I'm not seeing anything obvious. And I come around the back side of it. There's Rudolph munching away just as happy as a lark. I tell you, it's like, Rudolph, you didn't hear me calling you. It's like he was just chowing down on the hay. Well, it's just like, I was so surprised. I tell you. So thankfully I left a little bit of feed in the little bucket that I feed the boys out of for him. So I brought that down, and I gave him the bucket with the feed in it. And I have a rope that I use specifically for the goats. I put it over their antlers, because most of them, the antlers come out a little bit like that. So I put this rope over their antlers and cinch it down so that they can't get away from me. It's a lot easier than trying to carry some of these heavier ones. So I cinched him up by the horns and let him finish eating his share of the feed in the bucket. And then I drug him back to the boys' pen. I tell you, he was just enjoying the hay. Oh, sorry. So that's my first good news. That was kind of a happy ending. Now, here's the big one. You remember me saying how Sugar, I could not keep Sugar because she's the one who had the prolapse. And the vet said that with every breeding that she had, she would just get worse. And it's like, great. That is not a good thing. And most of the time, a goat like that, a doe like that, would just be sent to market. And that would be the end of her. Well, I love Sugar. Sugar was just the sweetest goat in all the world. She was so sweet. I loved her to pieces. It broke my heart that I was going to have to get rid of her. It's like, but I couldn't see sending her to market. There was just no way. So I kept praying about finding her a good home. I advertised on the local Dial and Deal about her, and I put an ad on Craigslist. And I don't know if this person found me on Craigslist or somebody. I don't know. Craigslist is the only thing I can figure. but she was looking for a goat as a companion. Okay. She had horses. I said, okay. She has chickens. I said, okay. Um, and I'm hearing a goat. Sounds like it might be Ruthie. Could be Little Miss. Anyway, that those two are very protective of their kids. So anyway, yeah. So she contacted me and said she was looking for a companion goat. Okay. Something that she could lead on a leash. And I said she was thought she was looking for a wether. Okay, and yeah, weather normally would be good. There was a set of twins that she was going to get, but unfortunately, uh, there was a neighborhood dog that got into the kid pen, and unfortunately wiped out all this breeder's kids. That that was heartbreaking. She had originally going to be getting twins from that lady. So so she ended up calling me or texting me, or was it an email? I think it was an email. Anyway, between emails, texts, and calls, okay. And she's telling me what she needed, what she was looking for. And I said, I've got the perfect goat. And she will be a companion. Yes. I said, I got the perfect goat. I said, she's sweet. She's very laid back. I cannot breed her. It's a female, but she cannot be bred again. Okay. So I got to be very careful about who I sell her to. And I described her to her, and she said she sounds like the perfect goat. Um, and different texts and everything describing her and whatnot. And she drove all the way down here from northern Pennsylvania, okay, to get Sugar. And I'll tell you, I am so happy that she got her. Her truck is in the shop, and you know how these things are these days, okay? Um, Long drive, yes, very long drive. And they ended up having some car issues on the way down, so it took even longer. Um, but yeah, their truck is in the shop, so the only other vehicle was a car, and so they had to um, set up a little suite for her in the back seat. Um, and okay, I was kind of hoping. I thought the Sugar would be okay, but I wasn't sure because you just never know when they're in a new environment. Their personalities can change. You just don't know. As I thought that she would be okay, but I didn't want to sell her as being one way when in a new environment she'd be something different. Okay, I knew that after she got used to a new environment, she would be back to her own self. Okay, um, and we got her, and of course, when she got here, Sugar and the rest of the goats had been there the whole time. 10 minutes before she was going to get here, that's when they decided they were going to go off and browse. So they were off browsing when they got here, unfortunately, which made for a little bit extra time. But we were all able to talk a little bit. And it wasn't long after they got here that the goat showed up. And I was able to walk up to Sugar and get her, And they got a wide dog collar for her. And they put that on her, which I'm glad it's a wide one. Um, and I took her chain off. Sorry, I get a little bit choked up on that one. Because Sugar was going to be a keeper. But we got her to the car, no problems. Got her in the car, no real problems. She stood up for the longest while, but after a bit, she sent me a picture of her laying down in the back of the car. And then they had to bring their old lap dog with them because it needed medication. And so they had the little dog. And at one point on their drive back, the little dog was laying next to Sugar in the back seat. So that was awesome. That was great. I was glad to see that. Sugar was used to a dog, so hard to get to let go, but knowing she is in a good hands is great. Yes, yes. And they had a long drive back. So been there, done that kind of a drive. I know what she was going through, and I know how I was after that. So I did not expect a whole lot of feedback from her. Didn't expect to be chatty at all um, the next day. So, but they have her in a nice dry 10 by 10 shed, just so she can get accustomed to everybody. And she is doing very well. She's already been out for a walk on the leash, and her new owner, um, call her Donna, um, she is in love with her. Absolutely in love with her. Sugar is as sweet as she always has been. Um, and I'm sure that she is going to end up being an awesome companion. I mean, she's used to horses, she's used to chickens, she's used to dogs, so it's like she doesn't have another goat friend, but everything else that she's used to, she's got. Okay. If she was going to be an only animal, it would have been different. I would have insisted that she have another goat. Okay, but with all the other animals, I figured, okay, she might be fine, and she has been. And I am just so thrilled to death that Sugar has found an awesome home, someone that's going to take care of her and treat her well. Um, God answers prayers way better than we ever expect. Exactly. And I never, ever would have expected her to go to a home so far away. Um, but that's okay, so long as she's well cared for, and she's made a nice bond with her new owner already. And I am just thrilled to pieces. So now I've got the other goats that I need to sell. Remember, I'm keeping my 5 originals. Okay, I'm keeping Moo, Mama, Coco, Little Miss, Daisy. Those are the does that I'm definitely keeping. Those 5. Okay, Daisy is the dairy goat, and then of course I'm keeping Billy. Um, I'm also keeping Lily, which is Daisy's little girl. And I'm debating on whether or not to keep Ashley. Ashley is Little Mrs. Little Doe. Um, it's just she's got a good structure, and she's close in age to Lily, and Lily and her play together. And I am just really seriously considering keeping Ashley and selling Nilly, who I definitely had wanted to keep, Ruthie and Joy, um, Sugar's little girl, Joy's little girl, um, and Ruthie's little boy. Not to mention, well, Mama's little boy unfortunately passed away. Um, so I have Mama's new little girl. She doesn't have a name. I didn't name them because I wasn't going to keep them. So, but Ashley just kind of like it just seemed to fit. And unfortunately, I can't keep Aster. Aster is Daisy's little boy, and he is so sweet. I'm hoping I can sell him as a young buckling, to someone who wants that kind of breeding. He's a Seinen Kiko cross, so I don't think he's going to be as big as a regular Seinen buck, but he's just so sweet, and he knows his name, and he comes to it. I call him, and he comes. So it's like I'm hoping I can find him a really good place. Now I was able to sell Mama's single young buck earlier this year, as a breeder. And the guy who bought him was very happy with him. He thought he got himself a really good deal. I think he got a good, he was a good quality buck. So he went to a good home. Sugar went to a good home. So I'm hoping that all the others can go. I have not decided about whether or not to keep Little Man. Okay. Little Man is only here, well, for one reason, because he was the first goat born on the property. Okay. Um, so I was reluctant to get rid of him. I made him a wether because I knew I couldn't keep him as a buck. And I figured, well, he'd make a good companion for the buck that I would eventually get. And he has, and he's been pretty good. I've been letting him and Rudolph out during the day to kind of save on the hay that I have to feed the boys. Um, and so they're out. They're allowed to browse. Billy has to stay penned up because I just can't let the girls get pregnant just yet. I'm hearing a goat cry. Sounds like it's one of the older kids crying for their mom. That happens. You get to learn their cries. You do. Um, Now you can tell. I could tell there's certain ones that get melodramatic. Ruthie gets melodramatic when it comes to her kid. Um, Sugar was pretty much over it. Okay. Mama's ears perk up. Yeah, I know. And like, and I've had a couple of well, we lost one of Little Mrs. Twins. She had twins this year. Okay, and because she hid them just before a weather system came in, we lost the one, and I was very surprised that she still had one left. Um, and then I had Mama's little boy, her latest. He got sick. Still don't know what it was. I figure he got into something or other. I can't imagine what it would be, but he got sick and he didn't make it. Um, but it's yeah. After you get something like that, you kind of like are listening for anything that's a little odd. And I've had them have accents too. Joy's little girl got her head stuck in an awkward position. And if I hadn't followed my instinct when I heard the cry, it wasn't right. Okay. And I went over to see what was going on because the cry just wasn't right. Um, and she was hanging herself. Okay. Not on purpose, mind you. But the way her position, she was like, and she was sore. Her neck was sore for a couple days. I could tell you that. But I managed to get her up and get her unstuck. And how on earth she got in that position, I have no idea. Goat kids are just as bad as regular human kids. I'll tell you. Sometimes what they get into. And then I think it was Ashley. She got her head stuck and her body flipped over in a position. I don't know how on earth she got it, but she got her head stuck in a position. And thankfully, I heard her and I said, "That's not right. That cry's not right." And I went and I checked. And yeah, she had herself in an awkward position. She couldn't get out of it. Um, so, yeah, so whenever I hear a goat crying, I got to stop and I got to listen to see, okay, is that a normal cry or is that a cry that's going to tell me that there's a problem? So that was a normal, like, you've left me behind kind of cry. So, hey, I can't do anything about that. That's their own fault if they don't pay attention to what everybody else is doing. So, yeah, but anyway, so that is how things have gone for me this week. It's been a crazy week. Uh, with all the communications and everything and the heat and everything. It's been warm and I don't get much done when it's warm. I've been still trying to clean out the run in. I do as much as I can in the morning before it gets hot. Yesterday, I don't know what I did, if I just laid wrong or what. Yesterday morning, it woke me up in the middle of the night, same here, hot and dry. Yeah, we did get rain yesterday though. But it was early yesterday morning. It woke me up out of bed. I was in so much pain with my hip. I don't know what I did. It was somehow I was laying. I don't know what it was. I could barely walk yesterday. Um, my neighbor said that he could, if he had a chain, he could have pulled that T-post out of the ground that I need to have pulled out, but I was not in a position to go walking looking for my chain. It's like, you know what? It's been there all this time. It can wait another month or so, till you bring the next round bale. So, it wasn't that urgent. And besides, Honey and Chucky both scratched themselves on it. So it's like, I just needed to get out of the way, you know? So, and then I got other T-posts I'm trying to get pulled out so that I can get a fence up, all these things, you know? Um, yeah, and he and I were talking fence posts. He says, "Why are you paying all that money for new fence posts from in town there? You know, when you get them on at an auction." Because I guess it was an auction not that long ago that they had a whole mess of fence posts. And it's like, I said, I don't do very good at auctions. I mean, I'm okay for selling at them, but for buying, I don't do very well. You know, it's very rare that I get anything, you know. So, well, I have a very strict limit. I decide, you know, I look at something and say, okay, what is my budget? How much can I afford? And I set it, and I do not go past that. I just can't. Um, so I just don't do very well at auctions. There's usually somebody, except for when I bought the pig. That's the only time I've not been outbid. But usually I get outbid. So, but anyway, yeah, no pigs here. So that's what's been going on. It's been a very eventful week. Um, we'll see if I can't get. I got to order lumber for the run in. I haven't done that yet. And of course, tomorrow's a holiday, so I don't think I'll be able to do it tomorrow. I'm hoping I can get hold of the guy on Tuesday. We'll see. Because I definitely need at least two 10-foot boards. Okay. Everything else can be 8-foot, but I need two 10-foot boards. So I need to go and see if the mill has that. And then we'll see from there. I can start building things up. It's going to be a wide board at the bottom, and then a hog panel, and then another board at the top, because I want it good and secure. I don't want to take a chance of any large animals busting through it. So I need a good, strong, thick board. If I can get 2-inch wide, that would be okay, you know. But we'll see. We'll see what he has for me. Well, anyway, it is starting to get warm up here because I turned the air conditioning off. So you guys could hear me because it was just so loud. I was looking at one of those, what do they call them? A portable air conditioners. You know, it's on wheels. You can wheel it around in the house and whatnot. I was looking at one of those because it might be a little bit better, because I can barely get this air conditioner in this window. And I got another one that's just a little bit bigger, and it's too much of a hassle trying to get that in. I might sell that. I don't know. We'll see. It's beginning of the year, of the summer. Maybe somebody might be interested in it. I've got a remote control for it, but I don't know. I'd have to clean it up and everything, and it's just been sitting up here. So we'll see. I don't know. Haven't really decided. But did you get any rain at all? We got rain yesterday. Like I said, we got the storm early, and then we got another storm about an hour or two later. And I don't know why all of a sudden she started wagging her tail. I think she's sleeping. Goofy dog. No, it went all around us. Oh, man. Oh, that happens more times than I care to shake a stick at. You know, I watch the radar. They say, oh, we're going to have rain in so many minutes. And I look at the radar and I see how it's going. It's like, no, we're not. No, we're not. And most of it, the lion's share of it, goes all around us. You know, Lexington gets it. London gets it. Manchester gets it. Somerset gets it. You know, McKee gets it. And it just goes right on around us, you know. So it's rough. It's rough. But they say, I guess it's probably the same for you, that it just about every day this week we have a chance of storms. A chance. So, well, you know, we'll just have to see. We got a nice soaking yesterday. I had a 5-gallon bucket that I put under. I have a drip in one of the gutters that the guys put up. I mean, it's secondhand gutters, it's not going to be perfect. So I got this drip and I put a 5-gallon bucket under it, and it catches the dew in the morning. But I thought it was empty, but then I got to thinking, no, it wasn't completely empty. Well, it's full to overflowing now. We got that much rain. So, and it's not a steady stream of water coming down. It's a drip, 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 drip. Of course, the more rain there is, the faster the drip, but it's a drip. It's not a steady stream. So if that got filled up, then chances are the water storage for the main barn, that's probably pretty much full. And the goat barrels, that's probably pretty much full, because I think that was getting low. I've got gutters, and I've got another barrel that I can use for putting in a rainwater catchment system over for the buck barn, which I want to get done. Not sure when it's going to get done, because I have other things that are higher priority. It usually splits at the river and goes on both sides. Yeah, I've seen that done, and I've even seen it where it's a big storm approaching, and it looks like it's really going to be a gully washer, and then it gets to the river, and it just kind of peters out and doesn't even cross the river. Have you seen that before? I've seen it. Like, we don't have a river like real close to us, so we don't have that effect. I think it's the hills, the mountains that kind of split the systems for us. But when I was up in New Jersey, it would be the Delaware River that would stop the systems, And sometimes if it came up from the south and followed the river, we might get it. But if it came from the west, unless it's a really big, strong system, when it got to the river, it would peter out, and we'd be lucky to get a light shower. But yeah, it's so many people are hurting from this. It's just been so dry for so many people. I was like, I couldn't believe how many people were suffering this year from lack of rain. Some are in a really heavy drought, and some are in a moderate drought. I mean, my pond still had water in it, so I wasn't that bad, and I still had rainwater saved up. We weren't hurting. But I was getting a little low with the goats, but that's because I'm also watering the boys from the same 2 barrels. Once I get the boys' barrel set up, I'll just put a single barrel there, and once I get that up, then they'll be on their own system, and I won't have to use the other barn system for them. I've watered every day, so everything still looks good. That's good. I haven't watered every day. Maybe I should have, I don't know. But my biggest problem has been I've had a couple of ducks come up, and they have devoured my beans. I was so looking forward to fresh green beans picked at just the right time that I like to have them picked. And I mean, I may still get some. I've got a few plants that have flowers on them. I may get some. Some others I thought were going to recover. I see that something's gotten to them still, because I haven't got that fence completely and totally 100% secure to where nothing can get in. Now, it's been great because Gracie has not been able to get out. Well, she could, but she is so afraid of electric fence, she won't go near it. Oh no, my friend had a groundhog eat hers. Oh yeah, I won't have a groundhog. Doubtful I'd have a groundhog, because this is all in raised beds. I mean, also, this is the first time I've used raised beds. Okay, so there's a bit of a learning curve. Now I'm very surprised. My tomatoes, I've got 3 Cherokee Purple, and I did plant 4, but only, I think it's only 2 survived. Of the Rutgers. I've never planted either one of these tomatoes before. So the Cherokee Purple are doing better than the Rutgers, but the Rutgers seem to be getting better. So, and I do have 1 green tomato on one of the Rutgers. So we'll see. I don't know what kind of tomato it's going to be. As I said, I'm not familiar with that particular, breed of tomatoes, but we'll see. At least I'm going to get something at this point. So long as they don't see the red and start coming in. So my zucchini, I have never, ever had any trouble growing zucchini. You put a seed in the ground and you can almost practically neglect it completely. And it just bushes up and it's like, you get so much out of zucchini. I mean, I didn't think you could kill it. Hot in central North Carolina, our squash and cucumbers are fried, done. Oh, that's a shame. Mine are done because of the ducks, unfortunately. What I was telling my neighbor yesterday, I said I'm gonna have to start shooting them if they end up as dog food, you know. But I'm gonna have to start shooting them because it's just I have way too many drakes. It's not healthy, and they're causing too much damage. I got way too many, and they were going to go to auction. I was unable to get there, so it's just the way things worked out. So, but I am capable of shooting them. I'm capable of killing them. Butchering them is a little bit more difficult because I do not have running water yet. I'd have to get things set up. I can butcher them. So, it's just a matter of getting things set up because running water makes things so much easier. You just hook up the hose and you're good to go. I think that what I will do is I will skin them rather than trying to pluck them. I don't know. Play that one by ear. We'll see. But if I can get 2 a day done and processed, I think I'll have to start the other freezer, though. I think that's what we're going to have to do is start the other freezer and get that cold and start putting things in there because I got like 10 drakes and they are big birds. They are very big birds. So that's bad. Oh yeah. I didn't even realize who that was. Hi, Carl. Oh, I tell you, it's getting bad. So, are you getting tomatoes at least? Or did you even plant tomatoes? Yeah, I think I'm starting to lose it, guys, because it is getting hot up here. So I think I'm going to have to call it quits. I said once it gets to a certain temperature, I can't do it anymore. I start losing my train of thought. I just can't function anymore. So, but I had to turn the air conditioner off because it was just too noisy. So, Stringfield Ridge Farm, I will catch up to you later. Carl, have a happy 4th of July. I know you got festivities tomorrow. Have a good 4th, y'all. You too. So we will see y'all later. Have a good one.